Today I will be discussing IV fluid maintenance and IV insertion. Indications for IV fluid maintenance is hypovolemia, anybody that's lost blood or getting ready to get blood, if they need IV heparin, IV antibiotics. The first thing you would do, definitely identify your patient, identify any allergies, and you want to see what the doctor has ordered. For IV fluid maintenance, this here is normal saline. So the first thing you would do is get your primary tube set, and you want to flush that, completely expel any bubbles before you connect it to your patient. This bag here represents the secondary or piggyback line, which when you use the two together, the primary set hangs lower, secondary set higher. And the way that you set up this tubing is you hold this lower, you hold this higher, you open the clamp, and you prime the tube. And then you place it back and connect it to your patient. For the heparin dosage calculation, you have the dose ordered over the amount that you have, and you times it by how much mLs it is. So if it's 500 mLs, the doctor has ordered 1,000 units, and the one that you have is 25,000 units with 500 mLs. You divide this by 25,000 times 500, which gives you 20 mLs per hour. And the same scenario with IV fluids. If the physician has ordered 1,000 mLs, this bag here, to be infused over 8 hours, you simply divide 1,000 by 8, which gives you 125. You come to your pump. This is a new patient. Basic infusion. It's not going to let me do it that way. But 1, 2, you set it to 125 is the rate. This bag is 1,000 mLs. I'm going to set it to 900. And then for your piggyback, you would come right here where it says piggyback, goes to secondary line. And this is 250 mLs. So if I want to do 2 hours, and then you hit run, and when this one is finished, the primary will automatically pick up. So I'm going to turn this off. For IV insertion, hand hygiene, and I have prepared all of my supplies. I have my IV setup kit, I have my IV catheter. Now, depending on what the patient is giving determines what size catheter they're going to get. This patient in our scenario has a small bowel obstruction. We don't know if at some point this patient may need blood, may have surgery, so we're going to go ahead and put at least a 20 in, so that way they'll have a big enough IV catheter if they should need blood. I have my IV saline lock, and I've already flushed it and prepared it. Oh. I'm gonna bring the bed up. Put my gloves on. And you feel for veins in the forearm. Most patients use their hands throughout the day if they're not, if they don't have altered mental status or if they're not paralyzed. So we like to go in the forearm just because it allows for movement and the IV catheter won't get displaced. palpate for more, for better veins. You can just clean that whole arm. Most facilities advise you to use the chlorhexidine that comes inside the IV kit. Pop it. Go up and down the vein. You allow it to dry. You don't fan it because you fan germs on it. Okay. Make sure this works, because in some instances this doesn't work. And you want to hold that vein. In this case, this patient didn't need a tourniquet. If the patient had a tourniquet on, I would make sure to pop that when I find my vein. So you go in straight. Once you see blood return, that's the indication that you're in the vein, and you can advance the catheter. Now this catheter will not let the blood expel, but if it was another type catheter, you would have to hold to keep blood from spilling everywhere and attach this. You pull back, make sure you have blood return, and then you flush. Make sure you have your IV anchored so that it doesn't get displaced. Now if this patient were saline locked, I would just clamp here and put a cap to keep it clean. This patient's getting fluids. I'll clean this with an alcohol swab. Clean this with an alcohol swab and connect the patient. And hit run.